Have you ever had the situation where you've had a great idea, one you know that can absolutely improve your business, but to this day it's still not executed, or you got halfway through and the wheels have just fallen off? Yeah, I think we all have. I know I certainly have. And we call this the diminishing law of enthusiasm, where we get really excited about something, but then over time it just sort of drops off. The consequences obviously are significant. If you think about the ideas that you've had in your business and the impact they could have on your results if you had have been more consistent and followed through, what would that mean? Well, in this video we're going to share 3 tips on how to overcome the diminishing law of enthusiasm. Let's check it out. To illustrate this point of the law of diminishing enthusiasm, I've brought you to my very amateur workshop, because I want to use this piece here, this cabinet, as a metaphor for what I know goes on in many businesses, and perhaps goes on in yours, and I know goes on in mine. The story is, behind this cabinet, my wife, who runs a gymnastics club here in town, she said to me, "Jamie, I need some storage for some stuff. You know, can you take a look at what I need?" I went and had a look. I thought, oh yeah, I could immediately see this cabinet that would be fantastic. And of course, being the wannabe cabinet maker, also wannabe bike mechanic, wannabe builder, wannabe everything, I thought, I can do it. I can make this cabinet. And so then, through my optimistic rose-coloured lenses, I thought, well, how long is this going to take me? I estimated between 7 to 10 hours, I thought, roughly. Now, bear in mind, I've never actually built a cabinet before. I've built plenty of things. I know tools, I know how to do stuff, but I've never built a cabinet before. And invariably, you know where the story is going to go. It has ended up taking me now, this happened 3 weeks ago, and in my mind I thought, within a week I can have this done. So 3 weeks ago, here we are. Right now, this cabinet it's now pretty much finished, except for the drawer that I just went to put back in down the bottom and broke the drawer slide. So now I've got to go and buy another drawer slide and refit it. You know the principle here is that, things always take longer and cost more than what you think they initially will. And we see this in business all the time. Whether it's, I want to become better at social media, yep, we're going to get on YouTube, we're going to do consistent videos, or I'm going to become a better networker, or I'm going to develop a training program, we're going to have better cross-training, or I'm going to have a new recruitment system. Whatever the idea is, and here's where we get stuck, an idea happens at an energetic level. It's a electrical pulse that runs through your mind. That's a thought. How fast does electricity run? Really fast. Like, energy is faster than the speed of light. So it takes no time at all. It's easy to have the idea. But that idea has to get translated to the physical plane, where we have to move and actually do stuff, build things, and that happens a lot slower. And we rarely do a good assessment of how long it's going to take something to happen in the physical plane, because we're often stuck in that mental plane when we're having the idea. So enough of the stories about my inadequacies as a carpenter. Let me share with you the 3 tips on how to overcome that law of diminishing enthusiasm. Of course, the law of diminishing enthusiasm is that we have the great idea, but it takes way longer than we think to actually implement or execute on the idea, and we get less and less excited about it, and that's where things can fall off the rails and just don't get finished up. And I know there's a decent portion of you out there who are watching this video that fall into that shiny object syndrome, where we love new things. So this is tip number 1, is know who you are. Are you the sort of person that loves new, exciting challenges, and will be easily pulled into a new direction if there's something that's new and exciting versus something that's a little old and stale? Now, I know there's also plenty of you out there who are more of your steady types, who will see a project through to the finish. And maybe if you are that sort of person, you might be looking at me saying, "Jamie, what are you talking about?" That's fine. Maybe you can stop watching if you like. But those who are more easily distracted and like new and exciting things, I'm particularly talking to you. So number one is know yourself. Number two is, I would say, make a realistic estimation of how long something's going to take, and not just long, how much money or what sort of resources are going to require. But rather than making a realistic estimate, because frankly we're hopeless at making realistic estimates, I want you to make your best estimate and then just times it by 3. Times by 3 in terms of resources, time and money. And then ask yourself the question, if this takes that long and costs that much, is it still important? Do we still want to commit the resources to do it? And that answer is either going to be yes or no. And if the answer is yes, so this is tip number 3, if the answer is yes, then make sure you've got ways to stay focused and committed to it. And that might be to make sure it's on a meeting agenda, so we touch base on it. It might be to make sure you've got a certain person who's a champion to make sure the project gets finished by an agreed upon time, or someone that keeps the ball rolling. It might be keeping it visual some way, like having the plan up on the wall, or having a picture of the finished product, or having something visual that sparks your mind, so that you don't lose momentum on a project. So, I always say to people, when it comes to time to plan and we create our 90-day plans, you're better off to have 1 to 3 things, and 1 is great, hard to do, but much better have 1 to 3 things that you do really well in that quarter, rather than have 7 things that you do poorly. And that's invoking or mitigating this law of diminishing enthusiasm, because once the excitement's over of we've had the idea, yeah, we're going to go and do this, it can be hard work to put things into fruition. Case in point. Anyway, I'll leave that with you. I'm going to get back and see if I can finish this thing off. And thanks for watching. We welcome any comments or questions below. And of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. Go out there and follow through on the things you say you're going to do.